So I saw this video show up in my feed last night. Like this actually showed up in my recommended for you page, and I was just like, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this gentleman Sam Collins being killed by orcas, but it's like, maybe it's a story that flew under my radar a bit. Personally, I keep my finger on the pulse of, any orca news. I used to work at SeaWorld. Orcas are my favorite animals. I am on a first name basis with quite a many orca. There are some instances that are shown in this video where it's just like, I know when that happened. I know the orca involved in that incident. Where they'll play it in the as like background footage, right? I want everyone to put their thinking caps on for this one. Put on your detective hats. Break out your magnifying glasses. We're gonna be taking notes throughout this video, right? Now, unfortunately, um, I don't really have anything good to write down notes on, so I hope you don't mind if I use this PNG I found of a really big red flag. I hope that works out for you guys. That this is what we'll be writing our notes on. So we'll just keep this in mind. We'll have this up for when we need it. Okay? Okay. Uh, let's have a look-see, listen-see, shall we?
What started as a thrilling orca show took a terrifying turn for trainer Sam Collins.
Oh no.
In front of a cheering crowd, his trusted orca, Luna, suddenly turned aggressive.
How
No one could have
terrible.
predicted the deadly twist as the performance spiraled into chaos. Hit like and subscribe. This is Fierce.
You always gotta love when they plug their channel. Okay, it's not loud enough, it's quiet. Okay. But I always love when it's just like, this guy fucking died. Like and subscribe. Why you do this? Why you do this? I don't understand. But let's keep hearing about this poor man who was killed. The horrifying last moments of him.
It was just another ordinary day at the marine park.
Alright, first note. First note. Did anyone catch it? We're one sentence into this video. Did anyone catch it? Put on your detective hats. Marine Park? Yeah. Which marine park? Was this at SeaWorld? One of the 3 SeaWorlds in the United States? Was this at Marineland, Canada? The Miami Seaquarium? Loro Park? Which one was this at? I'm going to assume that it was a Western one. Western Hemisphere. I'm going to assume that because, the trainer's name is Sam Collins, but let's take out our big red flag and write down our first note, shall we? So we're gonna need a lot of room for notes. Note number one. Note number one. Let's move on with the video, shall we?
The sun shimmered over the orca tank, and the audience buzzed with excitement for the main show. Sam Collins, the most experienced...
Okay. Time for note number 2. We are 30 seconds into this video. Now, I will tell you, because, there's only... We all only have so much time on this fucking earth. This is the only photo of this man. Do you notice something a bit off with the everything? Like the fact that this is clearly an AI-generated animal and an AI-generated wetsuit. I mean, maybe some of you are more experienced with wetsuits than I am. Maybe you guys really like to use Aku. Maybe some of you are foolish samurai warriors who wear Aku wetsuits. So that's note number 2. There we go. All right. So far, so good. Let's continue, shall we?
trainer had spent over a decade working with these powerful creatures.
Decade of
His bond
experience.
with Luna, the star Orca, felt unbreakable. They had performed
Now, maybe this is a bit too much to expect, right? of, you know, the general layman to have knowledge of. Yes, there is in fact a whole database of orcas in captivity, both alive and dead. Hell, like they even have a special page for orcas that have been released into the wild. Something important to note is that there actually was a captive orca named Luna. It was a young male who was, I believe, rescued and kept in captivity for a short period of time, rehabilitated, and eventually released into the wild. As far as I'm aware, Luna was an incredibly friendly orca. He became something of a local celebrity in his area. There are videos of him like playing with people, like tugging on some like strings or pieces of wood or some shit. Like Luna was a very popular orca. He unfortunately was killed by a boat propeller, um, just kind of slashing him open. It was very tragic. You're not gonna find, to my understanding, another orca named Luna. I can check this. Current number of known orcas in captivity, 58. Let's control F Luna. There's one. In Japan. So clearly this must have taken place at Kamogawa SeaWorld, Japan. Because this is the only orca in captivity named Luna. Who is a female that was born in 2012. So still pretty young. So let's add that to the notes, shall we? Only way it could possibly make sense. Added to the notes.
Amazing crowds with their perfect moves and trust. But on May 7th,
crowds of inexplicably white and brown people in Japan.
Something felt different. Tourists and families.
Another note. Wow, we get to take another note already. On May 7th. What year? I would like to know personally. So let's bring up the notes once again. I'm sure we won't do this within the next 20 or 30 seconds. All right. Good to go.
Kids laughed, and Sam prepared for the performance. Luna swam below the surface, her large dorsal fin gliding through the water. To the audience, everything seemed normal. Yet to Sam, Luna's energy felt a little off.
Ooh.
Over the past few weeks, Luna had acted more restless, almost agitated. Sam noticed it, but he wasn't worried. He had seen orcas go through changes before. Today, he hoped she would settle into their routine. As the music kicked off, Luna performed her first trick, jumping high into the air, water spraying everywhere. The crowd roared, thrilled by the spectacle.
Wow.
Sam smiled, thinking everything was back to normal. But as the show went on, Luna's behavior...
So, we know for a fact that he thought everything was right back to normal. We're gonna get more of this, by the way. More of his internal thoughts, his internal monologue, as it were. I have seen other of these, like, you know, sort of true horror type channels do this sort of shit, where it's just like they'll have the guy's internal thoughts, like his internal monologue as he's dying or whatever, and it's so distasteful and cringy every time I see it, and it's just like it immediately sours my opinion of the video, even if it's like, you know, a topic I actually have any remote interest in. So yeah, they're monologuing explicitly like they're writing fiction. Why don't we add that to the notes? I think we need more room for note. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Continue.
Behavior grew more unpredictable. Instead of following Sam's signals, she began to swim in strange patterns. It wasn't obvious to the audience, but Sam could feel it. Something wasn't right. Still,
Hmm.
he pressed on, trying to guide Luna back to their routine. Sam dove into the tank for their big finale.
Okay, another point to make. So at SeaWorld parks, and I want to say at most marine parks in general, ever since the death of Don Brancheau in 2010, trainers have not been allowed in the water with orcas. That was 15 years ago. Now we do know that, of course, this must take place in Japan. I'm not entirely sure of what the Japanese SeaWorld's rules are. They're not affiliated with um the American SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment. It's kind of like the Australian SeaWorld. They just have the same name. Why would you dive in when you think the whale is acting a little quirky? I guess that's a show must go on sort of thing. Even then, like um with the Tilikum incident, Tilikum was a whale that like trainers were not allowed to get into the water with, like because he was a repeat offender of this sort of thing. As far as I'm aware, reports still vary of what exactly happened to Dawn Brancheau. Some people say that she like slipped and fell into the water. Some people say that the whale like grabbed her and like pulled her in. Accounts vary. I'm not sure what the official or true story is regarding that. Basically, um, even SeaWorld accounted for these sort of things. Like, if a whale were to be acting in this sort of way, then they probably would have just escorted it to, like, one of the back pens or something, gotten it out of the performing tank, and just, like, gotten the show on with, an orca that's actually behaving properly. There we go. Our list of notes is getting so long, gamers. We're only 2 minutes in.
A synchronized swim that always brought the house down.
Ooh.
The water was cool, the music was loud,
Yeah.
and Sam felt the rush of excitement. Luna swam beside him, but her movements were sharper than usual. She circled closer to him, much too close. Sam reached out to...
What do you mean much too close? Because I have seen SeaWorld shows from, when they actually allowed trainers in the water with orcas. They got very close to each other. A lot. Trainers would ride on the backs of orcas. They would, like, stand on their noses and get, like, launched into the air. Remarkable feats of acrobatics were taking place here. What do you mean much too close?
Signal her to move away, but before he could react, Luna suddenly veered off course, her massive body brushing against him. The crowd was still cheering, thinking this was part of the act, but Sam knew better. His instincts kicked in. Luna wasn't following any routine. She was unpredictable. As he tried to swim toward the platform, Luna circled back, cutting through the water with incredible speed.
No.
Sam's heart raced. In all his years working with orcas, he had never seen Luna act like this. Before he could reach the surface, Luna
apparently in all his years, Luna had never acted out like this, nor apparently had any other orca. Which is weird, right? Because again, like, SeaWorld had... Like, when they actually let trainers into the water, they had protocols for this sort of thing. You don't just get into the water with a whale that's, going to be unpredictable or potentially dangerous. And apparently he just did it anyway. So clearly, this must predate protocols. Or something? Who knows? A channeling of the aquatic vault has a similar script to this? Maybe we'll take a look at that video. Maybe that's my second tab up here. Maybe.
Her jaws clamped down on his leg with unbelievable force,
Youch.
pulling him under the water. The pain was immediate and intense, like nothing Sam had ever felt. He kicked and thrashed.
Okay, so this is the video I was talking about here. This is an incident that happened at SeaWorld San Diego. The whale in question, her name is Kasatka. She was the matriarch of the San Diego pond before she passed away. I believe the trainer's name is Ken Peters. this was a really well publicized incident. I think this was a couple of years before the Telecom incident. I want to say this was in like 2008. She grabbed him by the leg and held him underwater for several minutes. He almost drowned. She did eventually let him go and bring him back up to the surface, but this was a really close call. This incident was highly publicized, and yet we haven't gone over this yet. You know, I'll save it. I'll save it. We'll put a pin in that. That this incident where the trainer didn't even die was very highly publicized.
Free himself, but Luna's grip was too strong. The water around them turned red as blood poured from his wound. Sam tried to keep calm, remembering everything he had learned about staying composed under pressure.
Once again, he is monologuing. We know his internal thoughts as this man is being drowned and apparently ripped apart. Really, the drowning would be the bigger concern. Because, like, again, you've been watching this footage of Kasaka dragging this man, and really not bloody at all, honestly. Like, again, drowning is the main concern. Because, like, that is how orcas will, you know, kill a lot of their prey in the wild. They will drown it.
But this wasn't just any situation. He was fighting for his life. The crowd, still unaware of what was happening, began to realize something was wrong.
The crowd barely begins to realize that something is wrong as the narrator describes that there is blood gushing in the water. The water is turning red with blood. And he's fucking panicking and, oh my god, the fucking whale is grabbing onto my leg. It's just like, what's going on in there? I don't think this is part of the act. Listen, they thought that the blood gushing out was just the whale releasing its ink sac. Because that's what whales do. ChatGPT taught me that.
The trainers on the side were frantically signaling, rushing to the edge of the tank. Panic spread as people gasped, watching in horror as the water turned dark with blood.
I love this, by the way. Just like, the fucking default color corrector for fucking Sony Vegas or whatever is just like, yeah, a little bit red. That gets the job done. The water's red. 10 out of 10.
Luna, in a frenzy, thrashed Sam around, dragging him deeper into the tank. Sam's lungs burned as he fought for air, his vision growing blurry. The pain in his leg was unbearable, and every movement felt like a battle against the force of the orca's powerful body.
More inner monologue. We get more of his thoughts. There is a lot of this, by the way. Just enough to fill up a lot of time code. You know, since whales are mammals, do they menstruate? Real question. Yes. Menstruation is just basically like your ovaries being like, okay, cool. Gotta get rid of all this gloop. Ready to have another egg. Like chickens menstruate. The eggs that you eat are chicken menstruation. So it's not exclusively a mammal thing. Like when you eat a delicious scrambled egg for breakfast, that's chicken period. That's what you're eating. And then when you eat a delicious chicken and it's got some honey mustard on it, that honey, bee spit, bee vomit. Everything you eat is disgusting. It is what it is.
He tried to signal for help, but his body was weakening with every second. Above the surface.
Tried to signal for help. Did that signal for help happen to look like... Ah! Ah! Ah!
The Marine Park staff were scrambling to stop the show and rescue Sam.
Ah, the Marine Park staff who worked at the Marine Park. Got it. Thanks for clearing that up.
But they knew time was running out. Luna was out of control, and Sam was nowhere to be seen beneath the crimson waters. People in the audience screamed.
I like how Crimson Waters was capitalized there like it's a band name. Also, Turning Away, another band. That'd be a good band name.
Some turning away, others desperately calling for help. Children cried as parents hurried them away from the horrifying scene unfolding in front of them.
Look at all this fucking stock footage of orcas just being chill. Just hanging out, laying on their backs, getting pet, asking for food. They'd rather be in the ocean, but they're just kind of vibing.
Sam's thoughts raced. How had it come to this? He had spent his life dedicated to these animals, built relationships with them based on trust and care. But now, that trust was broken.
Luna, how could you?
Luna was no longer his partner in the show. She had become a predator, and Sam was her prey. As Luna dragged him deeper, Sam's strength began to fade. His movement slowed, his vision grew darker, and the cold water surrounded him like a final, suffocating embrace. He knew he didn't have much time left.
Yeah, it's just like... He's just blasting all of these thoughts and emotions out as he's slowly drowning to death by being dragged underwater by the orca. This goes on for a while. How long until this segment ends? We got about 2 minutes.
The crew above frantically tried to intervene. They hit the water surface with ropes, trying to distract Luna, hoping to give Sam a chance.
We have to keep cutting back to the same footage of Kasatka because, like, it's one of the only instances where an orca attack on a human has actually been, like, you know, documented on film. And, you know, actually been released to the public because, like, there is some, I want to say, footage of what happened to Don Brancheau, but that has never been released because I imagine it is fucking horrifying.
But the orca was relentless. The once clear tank was now a dark, swirling nightmare.
Also, you notice how repetitious this all is, right? It's just like nothing has really happened since the orca bit him and dragged him underwater. It's just like, yep, tank's all dark and red with blood now, and he's panicking, and people are trying to stop it, but it's too late, and the water's dark and red with blood, and he's panicking, but the orca's not stopping, and it's just like... Get to the point.
Finally, after what felt like an eternity...
Oh, you're telling me.
His limp body floated toward the surface, but it was clear that the damage had been done.
No.
By the time rescue divers reached him, it was too late. Sam was pulled from the water, lifeless, as the crowd watched in stunned silence. News of the attack spread like wildfire.
Oh! Now we're remember the pin? Remember the pin? We're coming back to it. News of the attack spread like wildfire. If only I had a tab open that said Sam Collins, Orca Trainer. Oh. That's weird. The first result is this video. Oh, a whale kills trainer at SeaWorld Orlando. Oh. No, that's just Don Brancheau. There's this guy named Sam Collins on Instagram. Okay, surely Wikipedia will have this man. How odd. I think that one is another one for the notes. How fascinating. Maybe we should continue on with the video and see what it has to say.
The story of the beloved orca trainer who had been killed in a horrifying attack shocked the world. Headlines ran non-stop, and people questioned how this could have happened.
Headlines ran non-stop. That's why you can't find any with a simple Google search.
Luna, once the star of the show, was now seen as a dangerous killer. The park shut down temporarily.
How could you, Luna?
Held a memorial for Sam, and his
staff members held a memorial for Sam, not his family, because remember, he doesn't exist.
Family mourned the loss of a man who had dedicated his life to the animals he loved. But for those who witnessed the attack, the memory would never fade. The peaceful waters of the Orca tank, once a place of joy and excitement, had become a place of tragedy. Sam Collins would be remembered as a talented trainer, someone who had given everything to his work. But his death was a stark reminder of the wild, untamable nature of these powerful creatures. No matter how much trust is built, No matter how well we think we know them, the ocean's predators are never truly tamed.
Ah. Now we get into another story. This isn't just the horrifying last moments of Orca trainer Sam Collins. No, 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 no. We also get the horrifying moments of Jake Donovan. I wonder. I wonder if this man exists. Oh, Jesus. So what did we all think of the first story? I think it was pretty gripping, pretty riveting, wouldn't you say? There is something you'll notice about this if you're, versed in YouTubery. That story was padded as fuck, right? That story was incredibly padded, and yet, look where we are in the time code. Why do you think we're getting another story? Gotta reach that runtime. Exactly. We haven't reached the 8-minute mark yet. We need those mid-roll ads. So let's throw in another story. Let's add it to the notes. There we go. On to the red flag it goes. Do we think the story will be identical? Do we ever? Let's find out.
Jake Donovan's first day at Ocean View Cove.
Oh boy. So much to talk about here. Oh my goodness. So much to do and so much to see. I cannot think of a single marine park in the entire world that houses dolphins and sea lions together. Even if you completely ignore the fact that, oh dear God, look at their poor faces. It looks so it looks like you just fucking grabbed their face and were just like the dolphins. Hold on, let me get rid of the subtitles. Yeah, the dolphins look normal enough. This one's tail's all fucked up, and the pectoral on this one looks pretty sharp. That could be the angle. The pectoral on this one is kind of stumpy. The tail's also really weird. But these sea lions' faces are fucked up. Jumping way too close to each other. Yeah, look at like the splashes of the water beneath them. They're all jumping from basically the same place, depth-wise. Right? Like in terms of the three-dimensional space of the image. They're all jumping from basically the same place, and yet all in different directions that are almost like going towards each other. Like those two on the left and right, they're gonna collide with each other. But anyway, this Ocean View Cove seems like a pretty unique place, right? I want to go to Ocean View Cove. I want to see their sea lion and dolphin exhibit. Oh. Well, that's odd. I can't seem to find Ocean View Cove. Being a big marine park, you'd think it'd be pretty easy to find. You know what? Okay, Ocean View Cove Orca attack. Here we go. Oh. It's the same videos, isn't it? Well, I guess that's something else to add to the list. Don't know what to tell you.
Was supposed to be the start of a dream career, but when a routine training session with Echo, a powerful and
oh boy, once again, bring it back out, bring it back home for the boys back home. Darndest thing, how the only photos you can get of these people are very obviously AI generated. I mean, personally, I prefer Punk's wetsuits over Aku. But maybe that's just the foolish samurai in me talking. Also, notice how this chapter is titled Jake Donovan, Final Moments. Oh, also, while we're on the database... Uh-oh. We have a problem. There's no living orca in captivity named Echo. How about deceased orcas? Surely. of the 188 orcas that have died in captivity, one of them must be named Echo. Oh dear. I think we have a problem. I think we have another note to add to the red flag, gamers. Whoopsie doodles. Well, unfortunately, I admit Echo is a cool name for an orca. It is a cool name. Probably because they stole it from Echo the dolphin, but you know, orcas are dolphins, so it checks out.
With Echo, a powerful and unpredictable orca, suddenly spiraled out of control. The stakes became terrifyingly real.
Oh man, this orca was really unpredictable. A lot like Luna, actually. That's so weird.
It was Jake Donovan's first day training at Ocean View Cove, and excitement ran through him as he prepared for his first session with Echo, the park's star orca.
The park star orca was really fucking unpredictable, and you probably shouldn't have trainers getting in the water with it on their first fucking day.
The aquarium was quiet, no tourists or crowds. Jake was determined to make
No
a
tourists or
strong
crowds.
first impression. He'd studied for months, learning about orca behavior, and had been warned about Echo's unpredictable nature.
Maybe don't get in the water with it. That's what SeaWorld did with Tilikum.
Still, he felt ready. Echo swam gracefully, responding perfectly to Jake's initial commands, and for the first half of the session, things went smoothly. The senior trainer observed from the platform, pleased with how well Jake was doing. But Echo's mood quickly shifted. Her movements became erratic and aggressive. Jake noticed too late that something was wrong. The orca, once calm and controlled, was now charging directly toward him, her massive body cutting through the water like a missile. Before Jake could react, Echo clamped her jaws down on his leg, dragging him into the water.
Oh my god, this guy was also grabbed by the leg? Is this so you can once again use some more footage of Kasaka grabbing the guy's leg? Wow, that's crazy. It's crazy how similar both of these incidents are. That's so wild.
Panic hit like a tidal wave. The pain in his leg was sharp, but
sharp pain in his leg?
Everything else. Echo thrashed him underwater, pulling him deeper and deeper. He fought to break free, but the power of the orca was overwhelming.
Oh my god. And the orca is attempting to drown him while grabbing him by the leg? That's so wild how similar these events are. Man. You'd really think that all these ocean parks would do something about it. Like, these orca grabbing the leg attacks are just spreading like fucking wildfire.
The senior trainer screamed commands, throwing ropes into the water, trying everything to get Echo to release him.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they mentioned, like, throwing ropes into the water, like hitting the water with ropes in the previous story. I'm like 90% sure they mentioned that. I may have been talking over it or zoning out. Yeah, so clearly this doesn't work. And you're still trying it.
But the orca wasn't responding. Jake's strength began to fail.
Oh my god.
Which had been crystal clear moments before,
covered in blood?
Churned with blood.
Oh.
It felt like the world was closing in around him. Just as his hope began to fade, Echo loosened her grip and swam away, leaving Jake floating in the water. He gasped for air, his leg throbbing from the bite.
Oh.
The senior trainer, quick on his feet, pulled...
Thank goodness he seems to be alright. Wait a second, why is this called Jake Donovan Final Moments then?
Jake out of the water and onto the platform. Echo circled in the tank, her mood now eerily calm. Again, as if nothing had happened. Jake lay there, breathless and shaken but alive. The silence that followed was heavy. Jake had survived, but the reality of what had just happened hit him hard. As paramedics arrived, Jake was taken to the hospital for immediate care.
He was taken to the McDonald's for immediate care. Like, damn, we gotta get this guy burger.
The injuries were serious, but not life-threatening. He would need surgery, and recovery would be slow, but he would make it through.
So he's fine! It's called Jake Donovan Final Moments for nothing. Like, that's just straight up a lie. I mean... Obviously, it's a lie, but yeah, we'll circle back around that when we review our notes at the end of this. Okay, we're almost done with this garbage.
Word of the incident spread quickly. Reporters hounded the aquarium for
Oh, news of this incident spread quick. Did it now? Unbelievable. Look at that. Jake Donovan Orca. Jake Donovan Orca trainer. Dude, it's like the first result on Google. They're gonna hit us with so many. Oh. It's the same channel. It's the same channel. The only one that's about a killer whale attack is a trainer who has identified as Don Brancho. I don't know what to tell you guys. We're almost done with this crap.
And the story made national headlines. Echo, the once beloved star of the park,
who doesn't exist,
seen as a dangerous animal.
Wow, just like Luna. That's so crazy. That's so crazy how similar these stories are in not only their events but also the way that they're told. It's almost like it's almost like someone just went into Chat GPT or whatever and was like, write me a story of an orca fatally attacking a trainer, and then it's just like, okay, now do one non-fatally attacking a trainer, because we need this video to be longer than 10 minutes.
Launched an investigation into the attack, trying to determine what had caused Echo to turn on Jake. Some believed it was...
Maybe it's because Echo was an aggressive orca that they knew about the fact that it was aggressive. Are you stupid? You got brain problems, dog? I shouldn't be saying that, you know. If I were the FBI or whoever the fuck, I would also be confused as to how a fictional orca managed to attack this guy's leg. Maybe it's like a Fight Club situation. Spoilers for Fight Club.
It's an anomaly, a one-time...
Oh, hey, look, there's Luna. That was Luna right there. Yeah, that's Luna the orca. I've seen that video. Why do you keep mixing up dolphins and orcas? Orcas are dolphins, so it's not a big deal. Orcas are dolphins and dolphins are whales. It's all very confusing.
Time incident caused by stress or the change in routine. Others feared that Echo had become too unpredictable to continue performing with trainers.
Yeah, better put him down, huh?
Jake reflected on the experience. He had come so close to losing everything, and the realization of that weighed on him. But as he healed, something inside him changed. The fear that had once consumed him began to turn into determination. He knew he had made mistakes, misreading Echo signals and letting his guard down, but he wasn't ready to give up on his dream. Months later, after his recovery, Jake returned to Ocean View Cove. This time,
good for you, Jake.
With more caution and respect. Echo remained at the park, but her interactions with trainers...
But what the fuck else would she do? You know what, Echo? You're after that whole biting the guy incident, you're fired.
These stories are so samey, it feels like a creepypasta. There was some guy who used to talk about those. Caught fry on a skewer or something.
I wouldn't know anything about that. You know what? That sounds kind of gay to me. That sounds like dinosaurs. That sounds like a little fake and gay, if you ask me.
Were limited. Jake knew now that working with orcas wasn't just about commands and signals. It was about understanding the deep, unpredictable nature of the animals. But rather than being
I don't think training an animal is about, like, them being unpredictable. I think it's about getting very predictable results, actually. Primarily due to, you know, like, conditioning. But what the fuck would I know?
Mark of fear. They became a symbol of survival. A reminder that, in the world of orca training, nothing could ever be taken for granted.
Whoa. Crazy. Crazy stuff. Let's take a look at our weirdly chopped off notes that I don't know why that happened. Yeah, this fucking thumbnail on the right is just like, that's some shit right there. The orcas are just like chomping on these people in the water like it's fucking, like it's a shitty shark movie. We have a nameless marine park, the only photos of both men involved in these two attacks, these two nearly identical attacks, one is just fatal and one is non-fatal, the only photos of these men that exist are AI generated. The first guy must have been a white dude living in Japan, because that is the only fucking place where he could have been with a currently living orca named Luna. We have no idea what year his attack took place. We know everything about his internal monologue as though he might have been a fictional character of some sort. This couldn't have happened within the last 15 years, because getting into tanks with orcas has not been a thing for 15 years. You cannot find any record of his attack or of his existence at all. Very conveniently, there is another story that is so similar to the first one, right as we need to get to runtime for mid-roll ads. The second story takes place in a marine park that does not exist. The trainer does not exist. The orca does not exist. And there is no record of its attack. I think we can come to a startling but universal understanding on this. It's a conspiracy. It's a cover-up. The world has been hiding this from us. These men were attacked, killed, and ripped apart, and the water was covered in blood, and then and then their eyes were blood, and then you were blood. They knew. But they've been hiding it this entire time. And only channels like this will tell you the real, honest-to-God truth about what's going on at SeaWorld. Only they will tell you. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Fierce so that you can get more truthful orca death-killing attack facts. It's the only way we can stop the orca menace. But no, seriously, it's fake. And, as Shaker is saying, no. Oh, I didn't actually get this. Our mission is to raise awareness about wildlife risks while educating viewers on how to stay safe in the wilderness. With each episode, you'll not only be on the edge of your seat, but also gain valuable insights into how to respect and navigate the natural world responsibly. From shocking shark attacks to harrowing bear encounters, Fierce is where adventure and education meet. Adventure and education. Real life wildlife encounters. We bring you the most intense and terrifying true stories. They didn't even like put a fucking source, like a shitty fucking fake source in the description, right? Like not even a fake link. And by the way, let's look at some comments, because this is where things get really insidious, if you ask me. Every single comment is just about we shouldn't be keeping orcas in captivity. Years of being in prison, no business keeping these animals in captivity. People gotta stop attending shows, the abuse will end. No animals should be kept for entertainment, which is like, you're completely devaluing the value of zoos there, but what the fuck ever. These great animals deserve to be free. Incredible creatures should not be kept in captivity. Nope, same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Every single fucking comment is just about we shouldn't be keeping orcas in captivity, which, hey, I agree with you, but there is not a single comment that points out that this video is complete fake nonsense. I sorted it by new. It's all the fucking same. Okay, this one. I didn't see this one, because like I was looking at this last night, and this is 4 hours ago. Please, for the love of God, stop filling in thoughts and feelings. It shows a total lack of respect. I would agree if the guy was real. Serves Sam right, by the way. Like, this man deserves to get killed by orcas if he was real. But it's all the same. And I'm pretty fucking sure, like, you can go the route that, like, you know, these are botted comments. I think it's way worse than that. I think that they are actively trying to, like, filter out everything that says, oh, these are fake. I really think that they are manually filtering out comments that say this is fake. And I think that's really fucking awful. Like, there is not a single fucking comment. Now, on this video, which is the only other video on the entire internet, the only other thing on the entire internet that covers this fucking story, I saw one comment last night. But let's take a little look-see at this first.
This story follows trainers Sam Collins and Jake Donovan.
Oh, wow. The same two trainers. That's crazy. That's wild. The same two trainers in both of their stories being covered? That's insane. I wonder why that may be.
As they confront the unpredictable nature of these apex creatures, whose raw power can surface at any moment. After years and years of training, which typically involves Orca trainers, investing years building relationships with these intelligent and powerful animals.
After years and years of training, which typically involves Orca trainers training their orcas for years and years. Knocked it out of the fucking park.
In these moments, we are reminded that the ocean's predators can never be fully tamed.
Wow, that's like...
No matter how deep the bond between the trainer and the animal.
Wow, that sounds familiar. That sounds really fucking familiar, actually. That's like exactly the thing that the guy said, like, in the last video. That's wild.
Nature's grip on these animals is 10 times stronger than any bond they can form with man. The day at the marine park started like any other.
The day at the marine park started like any other. Can we...
It was just another ordinary day at the marine park.
Another ordinary day at the marine park. And let's hear that again.
They can form with man. The day at the marine park started like any other.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy how it be like that sometimes, man. That's wild, and it's the same fucking thing. It's the same goddamn video. They just like... ChatGPT has like a setting for this, right? They'll just be like... It'll be like, oh, hey, take this script, but like change the words around a little bit so it seems more like, you know, original or whatever shit. Like, you can do that in ChatGPT, I'm pretty sure. I want to see if that comment that I read last night is still there. Ah, it's still there. One day ago, this guy. No actual news accounts of this incident. Something stinks about this video. Oh, and look, this video does the same fucking thing. It goes over his, like, internal monologue. Probably because this video is 15 minutes long and the other video was already padded to hell and back. Capitalism and greed corrupt everything. You know why orcas attack people? Capitalism. Like Tillicum, he killed 4 people. 3, actually, but even then, one of those is debatable. And also, it's spelled with a K. There's a reason it's not spelled with a C. Nope. Oh, it's amazing how you knew the trainer's every thought through the whole day. Okay. So this guy clearly is not as strict as our good friend Fierce in sifting out comments that are calling him out on his bullshit. Orcas are escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space! I don't see any aside from the most recent one that was only a day ago saying that this video is fake. And no one has any sympathy for these people. Which I think is, like, fucked up. Like, listen, I think that, like, orcas shouldn't be in captivity as much as the next guy. Probably more than the next guy. I'd still have sympathy. I have sympathy for Dawn Brancheau. She didn't deserve to die. I have sympathy for that guy who died at Loro Park, like, I don't know, a couple months before Dawn Brancheau died. You know what I mean? The guy who, like, snuck into SeaWorld Orlando after hours and then ended up dying in the whale pool. You're kind of asking for it at that point. The green guy in the background on your shelf above my head. What, you mean Squidward? That's bold and brash. It wasn't recent. This happened almost 20 years ago. No, it didn't. Oh, we got one. We got one. They're calling out on it being fake. Sick that people do not fact check. This channel exploits fabricated tragedy for views. No verification from reputable news outlets or official reports. This guy doesn't filter them. This guy doesn't filter the comments. There are at least some. This guy, I want to say, like, totally filters through the comments. Okay, I'm scrolling through for like a while, and I'm going to... Oh, hold up. SMH deleted my comment. Oh, I bet Phantom here called it out. Nope. Not one. You can go on Wikipedia. There is a whole list of like every incident involving orcas attacking humans in the wild or out of the wild. And the in the wild ones are like, I want to say 2 or 3 incidents plus like all the stuff that's happening to the boats off of Spain. But then in captivity you have detailed descriptions of every single one. And the number of fatal attacks. Oh, his name was Ken Peters. I got that right. Tillicum was involved in 3 fatalities. I want to say the number of total fatalities is not much higher than that. There was the one guy at Laurel Park, and I can't think of any more. Yeah, Alexis Martinez. That was the guy who died at Laurel Park. That was... Yeah, only 2 months before Dawn Brancheau died. So yeah, like 4 total. 3 of them were Tillicum. Yeah, this guy got, like, very little publicity, actually. Like, you could talk about Alexis Martinez. You could absolutely talk about that. You could talk about Ken Peters being attacked by Kasatka. You could talk about those. Those are actual incidents that have happened. You would still get the same point across, but you wouldn't need to make shit up. You wouldn't need to, like, make up fucking names or places or AI generate images. Like, you could just use events that have actually happened and make the same fucking point. Because, like, I think it's very clear that they want to make the point of orcas shouldn't be in captivity, which, again, I agree with. If you, like, you can use actual stories to back that point up. You don't have to make shit up. That would require effort and thought. Shit, dog, you're right. I forgot about that. It requires the effort of Googling something. I hope we've all learned something today. And that is... Trust no one. Trust nothing. It's all garbage. Everyone's trying to manipulate you. Right, the real lesson is that orcas kill because of capitalism. Yeah, and don't trust orcas because of their unpredictable nature. Really, we should just start killing orcas again. Like, why did we ever stop that? We should just be killing them because they're horrible, unpredictable monsters. They'll just drag you underwater and turn the water into blood.